you can get away without missing out. Whether you're traveling across Idaho or just spending more time outside, the Connector keeps you up to date with the local stories that matter, from wildfire season to community news. Stay connected to Idaho with the Connector, Idaho Daily News. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Cadet. Kids are going back to school, and they have a lot to deal with right now. However, school officials also have some extra issues this year that they're tackling, including how the smoke is affecting kids in outdoor activities and a new Idaho law that requires a moment of silence at school every day. Our George Prentice wanted to find out more, so let's take a listen.
Kids across the region are heading back to school, and with that comes the anticipation, the challenges, the reacquaintances, and the very real possibility of meeting people who will likely be your friend for the rest of your life. It's back to school time. Stacy McKenna is here. Mrs. McKenna has served public schools since 2008. She has served as a placement coordinator, a teacher in the West Ada and Boise school districts, assistant principal at Whitney Elementary, and now she is principal at Jefferson Elementary School.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
Chad Wright is here. Mr. Wright is principal at Timberline High School. Mr. Wright has been an educator for some 27 years. He's been a phys ed teacher, athletic administrator, assistant principal at a number of schools. When he was principal at LeBois Junior High, he was named Idaho Secondary School Principal of the Year. And today he is the person in charge at Timberline High.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Can you talk about coming back to school and starting another school year? Mrs. McKenna, what's it like for you?
You know, I think that there is something that never gets old about the beginning of the school year, especially when you're in an elementary school environment. The phones are ringing. We have families that have been stopping by. Teachers are excited. And you really can feel the energy in the air. I look forward to it every single year, and it just never gets old.
Yeah, there's just a buzz and an electricity that goes through, lots of excitement. You know, everybody's coming in new at something. So sophomores are coming new into high school. Juniors, hey, we're no longer sophomores. It's that next stage. And of course, the almighty senior year that just has kids excited to be seniors. And then our staff, they've got the summer, and now they've been able to revamp some things, and they're just excited to welcome kids in and just get this year going.
Mr. Wright, tell us about Timberline High School.
We're in Southeast Boise. Our feeders from the junior high are East Junior High and LeBois Junior High. And then, of course, we have multiple elementaries that feed into us. We have this year, our enrollment is about 1,320 students. One of the things that I just love about this school is how involved our kids are. It's across the board of athletics, activities, the music department, performing arts, ceramics classes, just the wide range that kids can get involved in. We have a high number of AP students taking AP courses and concurrent credit. And then we also have a lot that go over to the DTech Center. And so with all those opportunities and stuff, we're just, like I said, always excited to have those kids in and helping them pursue where they want to go next.
Mr. Wright, I don't know how often you look back, but is it rather staggering for you to consider that you've been an educator for nearly 30 years?
It is hard to believe sometimes when you start talking about it, because I don't feel like I'm that old.
None of us do.
But yeah, when you look back over the time frame, it's a long time, but it's been amazing to be able to do what I've done, to be able to be around just outstanding teachers and administrators, district people. More importantly, like those students, watching them grow and being around kids. I think those are some of the things that help keep you young also.
Mrs. McKenna, tell us about Jefferson Elementary.
Absolutely. So Jefferson is in the Bench area of Boise, and our school is over 75 years old. So we've been a fixture in this neighborhood for quite some time. We're a smaller school, which has so many great benefits. We have around 200 students. It tends to fluctuate. And the neighborhood that we're in is incredibly supportive. There's definitely a small community feel. We have a lot of partnerships with the surrounding businesses, which are mostly locally owned. An example would be our walking club. Students walk laps, they earn points for that. And when they get a certain amount of points, they get to walk across the street with staff members and enjoy ice cream from a local business. So it really does feel like you are part of a community here. We also have a really unique student population that we are so proud of. We have a lot of students that are English language learners. We have a lot of students that have lived all over the world, and it is such a joy that they are here in our building and we all get to interact every single day. Jefferson is unique in the sense that we have a paraprofessional staff that helps with our students, which is amazing when it comes to both additional support for students and enrichment for our students. So you would be hard pressed to go into a school in the Valley and find what you find here at Jefferson.
I should note that the Boise School District has a new relationship with Apple. And as I understand, this is a pilot year where iPads will be going to kindergartners through second graders, and the Apple Neo will be going to third graders all the way up to 12th grade. So let me ask you, Mrs. McKenna, all of this technology, a reflection of our times, yes?
And I think that we're figuring out more and more every day of how to best balance the technology with traditional learning. And it's, really interesting trying to figure out just that right balance. And it's something that we continue to work on. Students are so proficient when it comes to technology. Sometimes I say they outsmart us.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a great tool for learning that I'm looking forward to. But we always, especially in the elementary schools, keep in mind it doesn't replace that hands-on part.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those educational tools that kids have, when they get to us, they've been using for a while now. So we just continue to try and use it as that educational tool. We're still always trying to teach students the best way to use it, but then also when are some really good times not to use it? Kind of like Miss McKenna said, where's that good balance of, hey, this is a great tool now, we can use it in this area, but also, hey, we don't need it for everything, so let's go here and use the books that we've had before. Let's write some papers by hand and also get into using both technology and what we would consider, the long-lasting traditional teaching methods also.
I'd be remiss if I did not ask about a new state law that requires a moment of silence in our public school classrooms. Mrs. McKenna, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, that's a great question. A moment of silence, generally speaking, for elementary students can be a little bit of a challenge. We're approaching it by incorporating it into our morning routine. Typically, students come into the classroom, they have their breakfast, we have a morning meeting, which is a time to build community, and students can share out kind of how they're doing that day. And so we will just incorporate it into a piece of our morning meeting.
Mr. Wright, how are you doing things that in regards to a moment of silence?
Very similar. Our fourth period, we have time, a little extra time already scheduled into that period because that is when we run our daily announcements. And so at the start of fourth period, that's when we will observe that moment of silence. We'll take the first minute of class to do that. And then following that, we will just continue with our regular announcements and then move into our class period.
Well, a new school year is upon us, but indeed we're still in summer, and our late summer has been a tough one for being outside, specifically our poor air quality. So I want to ask about the challenge of things like recess, activities, sports,
Yeah.
right? But I also want to ask about the possibility that it might be a learning moment to understand what's going on. Mrs. McKenna, I mean, you can't keep kids cooped up inside.
You're absolutely right. And I think you nailed it when you said a learning moment.
Yeah.
Certainly, we have amazing teachers here who sees every opportunity to turn something that's going on into a learning moment. So there will be some teaching about the air quality
Mm.
for sure. But in terms of indoor recess, we always have a plan in place, whether it's inclement weather. You just never know why you might need to stay inside, and teachers are prepared. They have exercise videos kids can do, games they can play. So initially, it's pretty easy to keep them entertained, just the excitement of something different.
Mr. Wright, you know sports, specifically middle school and high school sports, as well as anyone. So, how are you going to navigate all of this? I'm assuming that some practices are already underway, but the air quality is lousy.
Yeah, our fall sports started on Monday, and so we are just constantly watching the AQI and seeing what that number is and what it allows us to do. It definitely throws a little wrench in the works sometimes when it goes up because in the fall, other than volleyball, we're pretty much outside, so that really limits our indoor space also. So we're just following the guidelines that we have and we monitor that and then we work together as the coaching staff and the AD on where people can practice indoors if needed and for how long and what does that rotation look like. And then of course working within our conference when it comes to games and if we have to reschedule or if games can be played, what does that look like? What's the location and just working within the conference to work together to make it work the best that we can.
It's definitely more complicated for the high schools than it is the elementaries. I don't
Yeah.
envy Mr. Wright in this instance.
I know for a fact that being a principal has a dramatic impact on your families. You've been educators most of your professional lives, but you've got very early mornings and sometimes late evenings. So talk to me about, how important your own support systems are, right? Because that is very much a part of what you bring to every day.
I would say while there are certainly challenges to balancing both, I think being an educator has enhanced, in a lot of ways, my family life.
Mm.
I have a different perspective. I believe when I'm approaching parents and students, I understand the difficulty and the challenges of parenting. I understand the desire of all parents for their children to have a quality education. And to be quite honest, it's given us a lot of laughs. I happen to be married to a principal. We have
Oh, wow.
double the fun, you could say. But yeah, if anything, it's enhanced it for sure.
Mrs. McKenna, what time does your school day, what time do you get up in the morning?
Oh, I usually get up about 5:30.
Okay, Mr. Wright, your days are very long, I know. Early mornings, late nights.
Yeah, very similar. Obviously, having your own kids gives you the parent perspective, so that's helpful. My wife is also a teacher, so that
Okay.
is also helpful. She understands the roles, and she is also very great when I have a question to her, like, how would a teacher feel about this? And she will let me know. And so I think that helps me in my job a ton on that piece, having that viewpoint and reference. But no, we work together. Like the education piece is very good, and so finding that balance of yeah, family
Yeah.
and school is always something you're always looking at, but having that understanding and support at home is huge when they know that okay, these are game nights and these are conference nights and stuff. They have that
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
And then I also understand like, hey, there's times that I have a great staff here and they
Mhm.
can take care of things also. And so I can go home at times and just be with the family.
Mr. Wright, there is zero period, yes?
There is a 0 hour, yes.
And what time is that?
So 0 hour starts at 6:48.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
It's early.
And
Yeah.
afternoons and stuff are very busy. So yeah, like Miss McKenna, we're up early. We get up at 4:30 and get our day going then. So we're ready to go when school starts.
And that was our George Prentice speaking with Stacy McKenna, principal at Jefferson Elementary, along with Chad Wright, principal at Timberline High School in Boise, about kids going back to school. And thanks so much for listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. Do you have thoughts about today's episode? Make sure you email us at idahomatters@boisestate.edu or reach out on our socials. Are you subscribed to this Idaho Matters podcast yet? Make sure you're following so you never miss an episode.
The fatal shooting of a teenager at a protest in Seattle has gone unsolved for 6 years.
This is open in your face. How are there no answers?
Our investigation has uncovered new evidence and witnesses who say they've never talked to police.
Did police ever call you?
Not once.
Listen to We Keep Us Safe, a new true crime series on the Embedded podcast from NPR.